Welcome to the High Performance Interviews. And today I'm here with Adria Firestone. And welcome, Adria.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here, Lucy.
It's fantastic to have you. And we are going to go a little bit deeper into where you've been, where you've come from, your story, and some things that I know that the audience are really going to have benefit taking away with them. So, first of all, I'd like to give you a formal introduction. So,
All right.
Adria Firestone is a spiritual visionary, best-selling author, and reinvention mentor who helps women reclaim their voice, radiate confidence, and rise with purpose. A former international opera star and now the founder of Shine with Adria, her signature framework, which guides women to be seen, heard, included, nurtured, and empowered through intuitive coaching, storytelling, and performance tools. Adria awakens presence, truth, and inner light. And she believes your story is sacred and it's time to speak your light. I love all of that. That just gives me goosebumps saying that, Adria, because it's just so much a part of the way that I think about things. And I know that we've connected for a reason, and it's so much what you're giving to others that comes from your heart and your truth and your story. So, first of all, I would love you to talk a little bit about your story and the links going through, because I know that that opera star piece that was really huge. That was like a peak performance, right?
Well,
Literally.
indeed, that was 4 decades of my life. I walked on stage when I was 10 years old and didn't walk off until I was 50. So it's more than half my life. But the ironic thing is, Lucy, and is that I was hiding in the spotlight. But I didn't realize that I had run away to the circus. I didn't realize that. I didn't realize that I was in an abusive situation because I didn't know any better. I was a child. I didn't know any better. I thought, well, this is how things work. And surely there must be something more beautiful than this. And of course, my grandmother, my little Italian grandmother, Antonietta Calabrese Mastroianni, her name was longer than she was tall, and she adored opera and I adored her. So I figured, ooh, I can make that noise and she's going to love it. So
Oh,
that's how it happened to find that beautiful world. And Lucy, if it was not for the fact that I had a place to scream, where I could scream as long as it was on pitch and I followed the conductor, and then win awards for being angry, it's a place that kept me alive. Even though I didn't know, like I said, I wasn't conscious. You know, when you think of us as an iceberg and that only 5% is the conscious mind and the 95% under the water can still sink a ship. And you don't realize that, but only in retrospect is where I started to realize that there was healing that was needed. But that kept me alive. And not only did it keep me alive, it allowed me to experience the whole world. I encountered people and sent out my vibration of turning pain into beauty all over the planet. And that was healing, I think, myself as well as sending that out
yeah.
to the people in the dark.
It's often that two-way energy, isn't it? That sometimes you really understand it, and at other times you say it is retrospective, and you think, oh, that's what was happening. I was giving out all
Yes.
that love, I was giving out all that understanding, and I was actually getting it back. That's a two-way thing, right?
Yes, and you know that because you were a dancer and a performer. So once we have set foot in that spotlight, the privilege of taking yourself on stage in any way, shape, or form doesn't have to be professional. But when you choose to step into the light, you're asking yourself to give something else, and something else happens. And an audience, they are the people in the dark, but those people, they know when something is real and when something isn't real.
Mm.
And where my reality is was giving a facet of me, a bit here, a bit there, a bit there, different facets of authenticity and truth. But Adria, as Adria, I covered myself up.
Yes, yeah, the makeup, the costume, the character.
Exactly. And that was my protection because nobody can hurt us on stage. No one's going to walk on stage and hurt you.
No, 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 no. They're going to cheer you on.
Yes. Yeah,
Mm.
exactly.
So that's a really interesting place to start from, because when you think of high performance, you don't think of that pain going through in that kind of emotional pain. And maybe people think of high performance as somebody who is an athlete. Well, let me tell you, if you are a dancer or a singer on stage, you have to be an athlete. So
You
it's a
are an
different
athlete.
kind of athlete. You are an athlete, exactly. And it's not only the stamina with your body, it's also the stamina emotionally, isn't it? So it's like a double
Enormous,
thing. Yeah.
enormous. That is one of the things that I realized very early on, and I would do yoga pretty much every single day, at least 5 times a week. And that no matter what position a director would put me in, or I think it was Australia, maybe it was New Zealand. No, I think it was Australia. I was climbing down from 35 feet in the air and climbing down this like railings and this strange, fascinating set while I'm singing the habanera in Carmen and just climbing down and singing and then crawling across the floor or doing Samson and Delilah in Australia and singing this beautiful, very, very legato, meaning it has to be like super like silk. It's got to be really smooth. And I am sliding down Samson's body, kissing his feet, and coming back up again without the voice doing this, and had the conductor look at me like shaking his head. And that when you have that kind of core strength,
Yeah.
you can do that.
Yeah.
But how we eat, what we can do, what we can't do is enormous. The responsibility for being a leading lady is huge. It's
Mm.
huge because you're like the hub of the wheel. And if you fall down, you're dragging a lot of people with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yes, we're definitely athletes. We're definitely athletes.
And how did you get yourself to that stage of performance? I mean, you said you started at the age of 10. Were you literally going on to, was it local stages you were doing? How often was that? Where did you get that experience to get to that level of enormity in your career?
Ironically, Lucy, I started off with the with acting.
Mm.
Yes, I was singing and making operatic noises by the time I was 7. And I knew that it was special because I sang Un Bel Dì from Madame Butterfly for my father's friend. And to see this grown man with tears coming out of his eyes, and I thought, oh my goodness. I was sort of bewildered and thought, what a fascinating thing this is. But when I walked onto the stage, actually, it was at Barry College when I was 10 years old. There was a summer program, and I won that. You were supposed to have a monologue, and I didn't know what a monologue was. And Sister, I don't remember her first name right now, but she was very, very stern and passionate and a great teacher, and said to me, okay, take your monologue and go on stage. And I said, Monologue, I don't have a monologue. And she said, oh, okay, handed me a book and said, okay, read this page expressively, get on stage. And I
I
did.
love it. Of course you
And
did.
I was like, okay, I'll do that. And I won this. And the wonderful thing is that my mother not only allowed me to stay for that program, for the elementary school program, but she allowed me to stay for the high school program as well. And she picked me up later in the afternoon. And I would sit in the darkened theater and watch everything. So that summer, I mean, I started learning stage makeup when I was 10. I started learning about acting, about how you get into a character and all of that. And I was fascinated. And then I saw this beautiful African American girl on stage, and I'm sitting in the darkened theater, and she's swinging on this swing and singing, if you'd like to swing on a star and be better off as you are. And I'm watching that and I'm going, ooh, that's what I want to do. I want to do that. And there was this realization that this was where I wanted to be. And so I didn't go to school to become an actor. I would perform at the opening of a door. It's like, do you want to? My answer was always yes. And so it was get out there and do it, because I don't believe you can learn this in a classroom, although I'm a professor and I teach this, but you can learn the mechanics.
Hmm.
But until you actually get on stage,
Yes.
and I think it was the following year at Barry College again, we were doing Sound of Music and I did Sister Margareta, and the Abbey started to fall behind us. And we all just backed up, all the nuns, we just backed up against the Abbey and kept singing, How do you solve a problem like Maria?
Like
And
the
look,
monastery falling down.
yes, with the Abbey falling down, and we were physically holding it up. So, when you are on stage, that is the best teacher of all, because you'll have good, fabulous directors, you'll have good directors, you'll have awful directors, and you learn how to do it. And then I designed costumes, I designed sets, I worked props, I have done every portion of performance. I learned the complete package, not just I'm going to stand center stage and sing.
Oh, that's
So,
amazing. Yeah.
yeah, and the most important thing for me was that I was a singing actor. Yes, it was beautiful to make gorgeous noise, but behind every door in Manhattan, who's a fabulous singer, you need a lot more than that. You need to be willing to invest what you're doing with all of you.
Mm. Oh,
And the
yeah.
place to hide Lucy was to be behind a character.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I was confident,
Yeah.
not as me, not as just myself, but as whatever character I would give it my all. Absolutely. And if I fell down, I fell down. I'd get up and keep going.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you had that character on. You'd put
On.
literally
Literally,
clothed
it
yourself.
was protecting me. It was
Yeah.
protecting.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. And so doing all of those different parts, all of the different aspects, the makeup, the costumes, the designs, all this, everything like that, was that something you were encouraged to do, or it was just a natural thing that you knew to do? Do you know what I mean? To just to go and learn those things.
It was something that my heart wanted to
It
do.
was
I
intrinsic.
loved the art form so much that I wanted to know every aspect of it.
Mm.
I really did. It was a thirst. It was
Yes.
a real thirst. And I never took an acting lesson. And yet, I won awards for acting. But I think, again, the safety that I felt on stage, which I did not feel in my life, that allowed me to share all of this emotion, because in life, many times, and I don't know if you ever, or maybe some of your people who are listening right now, is you're too much. You're too intense. You're just too much. Well, no, I'm Adria.
Exactly.
And this is who I am. And I am Spanish, and I am Cuban, and I am Italian and American.
Oh
Well,
my
yeah,
goodness, what a
my
mix.
middle name, I'm allowed to be passionate.
You couldn't be anything but with that
No
mix.
choice in that, right?
Seriously, no choice. Oh my goodness. So, there will be people out there, and I wasn't. I was one of those people that was very shy and I
Uh,
didn't speak up. So I was the other end of the spectrum to you, but I've learned to speak up and I've learned to find my voice and be here, right? So,
yes.
so it's very, very different from where you're coming from. But if there's somebody out there listening to this and they're thinking, oh my goodness, I was told that when I was young, what would your answer be to that? And they're still thinking like, I can't really show up as myself. I can't be as big and bold as I want to be. And they're holding on to that throughout their life and they're still not speaking up. I know how I would help them, but what would you say to that person who's listening in right now?
First, the first thing, and it is essential, it's essential to your physical health, your mental health, your spiritual health, to find a place where you can voice yourself, where you can voice your heart. be it the stage, be it volunteering somewhere, doing something that allows you to be intensely yourself. Because what came to me when I was teaching a class on social communication on the spectrum, what I discovered, what just came to me was the word shine, and it's an acronym. That all of us in this world want to be seen. We want to be heard. We want to be included. We want to be empowered. We want to be nurtured. And those that are cruel and that are bullies and are unkind, they don't have those elements of shine. We need to nurture them in ourselves. And that's why women who are on the edge of reinvention, I help them find their voice, because we must do that, be it in writing, be it on camera, on a YouTube channel that you set up, even if you start doing it for yourself. It's a great way to practice. It's a great way to read something to a child that you love. If you do that, you will help discover your voice. It is journal all of the hateful things that you're afraid to say. Write it down. Write it down, and it releases the anger. The more we suppress the anger and our own intensity and beauty of who we are, it's like putting a cap on a volcano, and most of us are choking on the smoke.
Yes, yeah, and that volcano is going to bust at some point, isn't it? And that's the
Yes.
scary thing, right?
See, yes, it's like holding down a beach ball underwater. I don't care how strong you are, eventually that beach ball is going to pop up and hit you in the face. The body can't keep that kind of suppression and keep holding that in. That creates illness.
It's definitely going to come out somewhere in the body in some kind of dis-ease because you're feeling not at
Dis-ease.
ease.
You got it.
Yeah.
You got it. That is exactly correct, because we cannot do that to ourselves, even though society trains us to do that. Sit down in school, right? Sit down, fold your hands, lower your eyes, and be quiet. I say stand up and make noise.
I think the children would love you going in there to say, stand up and make noise, come on. And it's not the sitting still. I mean, from my side, when I'm with doing my coaching, it's like we need to move, we need to integrate the whole body. And you're doing that with the voice and voicing up and standing out and speaking up and being your true, authentic self.
And Lucy, allow me to say this, that one of the ways that when I walked off stage, I stopped singing for 20 years. I just didn't sing. I was so burned out and so tired, I shut up. And then what started happening? My lower back was killing me. Anybody in the audience want to raise your hand on that? Killing me, absolutely killing me. I'm going to PT. They're telling me you have to exercise. And I'm going, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I was one of the most movable actors on stage. I moved, I danced, I did everything. And here I was, like a dead weight for 20 years. Okay. I was teaching, I was managing a construction company, I was flipping houses, I was doing a million things, but it's different when you're not moving for yourself. So, okay, I started walking in the parking lot and I said, oh, this is so boring. Wow, this is boring. I have to do this. And I said, wait a minute, let me put some music in my ears. So I put in my little ear pods and I'm starting to move because, gee, that was a lot more fun. I started doing that, and pretty soon I'm dancing, and pretty soon I'm singing again. And I started singing pretty much every day for the people in this building, who were delighted, because all of a sudden you have free entertainment that's really good quality entertainment. I went back to what I did when I was in college, doing jazz standards, doing musical stuff, not opera, doing stuff that is just fun, and international, French, Italian, Spanish, and just having enormous fun. It brought me back to life. And I saw a man in the lobby who I don't even know who he is, what floor he lives on. And he went, I know who you are. You are the dancing lady.
I love it.
So that's how you can come back to yourself as well.
Yeah.
Start doing something like dancing. Allow yourself to move. Come back to life. We need you.
Yes.
Women, we can save the world. We really can.
That. Yes.
We
That.
can.
Yeah.
So it's something that we need to give ourselves that gift because we're worth it. We're worth it.
And it's
It's
about
something
giving
I
ourselves
reserve.
the gift first, isn't it? So it's learning to love yourself again first. And once you can do that, then you can give the gift of you. But until you've come back to yourself, until you love yourself again, until you find your inner light, I know you call it your light, right? And
The light.
allow that light to shine, you can't do that for others because it's not as authentic and it's not coming from a place of true love because you are the person you need to love
Yes.
first.
Oh, Lucy, how beautifully said. And that's absolutely true because if we don't find that self-regard, I was taught I didn't deserve. I didn't deserve love. I didn't deserve to be here. I had to go beyond that and heal that and find reserves. And this amazes me. Where did I get the strength to keep giving the love? I had a colleague of mine at the university say to me, I don't understand why the kids just run down the hallway to hug you. And I said, because I love them and they know it. And she just went and walked in her office. And I thought, hmm, green-eyed monster. All right, deal with it. But we all have that capacity to love, no matter what we've been through.
Yeah.
That is what heals us. That is what rescues us.
And
And
so your mission, tell me about your mission now. And I know you've got some things you want to share. I think there were 4 pointers you want to share. So do share that as well. And by the way, if you're thinking I would love to work with Adria, then I'm going to put all of the stuff in the comments below. So do click through there and have a call and find out more and connect with Adria. But in the meantime, yes, Adria, do share, please.
oh, by all means, it is a pleasure and a joy to share the ways to come back to love. And it is one, love with yourself, to find the self love, just what Lucy was saying. That's number one. And it is finding the clarity of where you are right now. This is very illuminating. When you find out and you accept where you are, it's like finding yourself on a map and seeing a little dot that says you are here, and you say, hey, yeah, but I want to be over there. Fact is, you are here right now. Accept exactly that. Accept that. Say, oh, I feel awful. I'm not happy with who I am. Who have I become? What has happened to my dreams? I've been taking care of everybody else, and what about me? Oh, so many of my clients, I have heard that. What about me? And it's one is accepting exactly where you are. And then what I love is allowing the unfolding of the asking for what your soul wants, not just your brain. Because those of us who are intelligent, and we're intelligent, we take it from here in our hearts and we put it up here in our heads so we can control it. So you think you're in control? The divine thinks that's very funny, okay? Because your soul may have made some really fascinating agreements before you came here. And no matter what happens to you, no matter what happens to you, these are part of Earth School lessons that you have designed for yourself. It's not happening to you, it's happening for you. And when you learn to ask for what your heart and soul wants, not what you think you can get, because society trains us to ask for what we think we can get. But when you can ask for what your heart and your being wants, you're on the way. Because then we start clarifying the vision that is pulling you from the heart and saying, come here, come here. This seems so illogical. And how is it possible? You know something? The how isn't necessarily in your hands. Let the how go. And then all you do is take aligned action. And you know the word that scares me most? Allow. I go, ooh, allow? I have to allow?
That means I'm not in control.
Oh, that means I can't control anything? You mean I have to be in front of the boat and I can't be with the rudder in the back so I know where I'm going? No. You're supposed to stand in the front of the boat and say, oh, that looks like an interesting, oh, that looks like an interesting passage. And then the boat goes the other way. You go, okay,
Okay.
okay, okay. And open your hands, and the honoring of yourself and the learning to shine. And I have created something which is Shine with Adria, this little page here. This little page gives you everything that I just said when I said shine. And this says, I deserve to take up space. Think about that. I deserve to take up space. H, heard. My voice has value. I speak my truth with confidence. I, included. I belong, and I don't have to prove my worth. Can you imagine that? I was taught every single day I had to prove my worth. After a while, even you don't believe it anymore.
Mm.
And then nurtured self-compassion is key. We have to take care of ourselves. If we don't take care of ourselves first, what kind of reserves do we have to take care of anybody else?
Not a lot.
So by all means, you're going to be able to get that. And then I have this really fun instant charisma checklist. And I know you're going to be doing something with Lucy, which will be very exciting, where you get to speak out, be seen, and lead. And this is walk on stage and command attention in 90 seconds.
Oof.
And it walks you through a couple of things to do to warm up the body, to warm up the voice, and to just get out there and say, I allow myself to be seen. Is it scary? Yeah, but you know something? It's the most exciting thing you will ever do, because you will open up, you will turn a page to the rest of your life, and everything becomes different. I'm now in my third reinvention. A third time. I'm starting over from the ground up. And it's okay. It's okay, because now I had the courage to own my own story. To own my story, that's very important. And then say, I open my heart, I surrender, and I agree to whatever the mission that my soul has agreed to. I'm here to do it.
Mm.
Guide me, lead me. I allow. And it's scary, but it is exhilarating. You will never feel more alive than
Yes.
when you surrender like that.
Yeah.
It's not
That's
sitting in a heap waving a white flag. No,
no.
it's saying, I'm willing to be led.
Wonderful. I love all of that, Adria. And they're going to find that on your website below, and there's going to be a link for that.
Absolutely. You just go to thecharismaexpert.com / and you will see buttons. There are buttons that say get the charisma checklist. Get the charisma checklist. And then I will make sure that I will send this one to you, because this one you can put up on the wall in the bathroom. And when you're brushing your teeth, you can say all of these things to yourself. It's like affirmations that are not just something like, oh, gee, I wish I could be a millionaire and I'm sitting on the edge of my bed so that I can be a million. No, say it, give it vibration, give it your intensity, and you will find yourself shining in a way that most people are afraid to do. We need to set an example by being willing to reveal our hearts and our minds and our beings with all the bumps and imperfections and all the shadows. We have the shadow in our life only to throw our light into relief. That's why it's here. Without night, would there be day? It's all part of who we are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give that to yourself. Give yourself that gift to shine.
Ooh, Adria. And on that note, I think that's just such a beautiful note, excuse the pun, to end on. Unless we had
I
you
love
singing.
puns.
Unless we had you singing an outro, of course, that would be amazing.
Well, that's possible.
I do know that's possible. We might have that. So everything's possible. Everything is a possibility. And I think if that the only thing that you've got from this interview today, then you're taking something very precious away with you. Because as long as you are still in the possibility of, if you still have I might be able to get through this with help, with support, with guidance. And if you've still got all of that and what if Adria is the right person for me? Let me just speak to her. If you've still got that in you, then take the steps, take the action, take the link from down below, book the call,
Yes.
download the stuff,
Yes.
and do it now. Do it now, because otherwise it gets left and it gets lost and it's not done. And then life comes along and you forget about it. Please don't forget about it.
And
You're
and 10
listening to this
years.
for a reason. Go ahead, Adria.
Yes, and 10 years from now you could end up in the same place.
Yes.
No, because time, we can't go buy more time. That's one resource that we don't have more of. We can't go buy some more no matter how wealthy you are. And so I wasn't able to do this alone. I went to therapy. I have coaches. I have people who stood by me and believed in me when I didn't. I did not do this by myself. I needed help. And the more help we get, what happens is we build this beautiful sisterhood of purpose and of big love. And when women come together with that kind of intensity and love and support for each other, it's world changing.
Yeah.
Isn't
Oh,
it, Lucy?
I've got
I mean,
goosebumps. Yeah. Yeah.
the feeling that you and I, when we talk to each other, it's like I'm coming home and I feel good and my heart relaxes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, please. I would love to speak to you. Set up a session. Absolutely. 20 minutes. You're worth that, aren't you? Let's find out. Let's find out.
And just to allude to what Adria was saying earlier about the Speak Up, Find Your Voice challenge, if you're not on it when you hear this, because you're hearing it in a few months' time, there might just be another one coming up. So I
Yes,
can always pop a link for that to be able to get in contact. So if
do.
that's something that intrigues you as well, we'll do that. Seems it's been mentioned. I don't want to confuse you. Adria's the most important one here. Well, in fact, you're the most important one here. Adria and I are just here to support and to serve with love and understanding, and from what we've been through from our different, very different stories in life. And
Yes.
it's for you to really pick up on and go do something about, because you're worth it. You're absolutely worth it. So with that, Adria, thank you so much for sharing your beautiful self here, all that you have, all of your gifts. It's been absolutely
Thank
wonderful
you.
speaking with you.
A delight. Thank you so much.
You're
Thank you,
most
Lucy.
welcome. And thank you to our audience. There will be another video coming up on screen, so I'll see you over there. And remember, click on those links below. Bye for now. Have an awesome day. Bye-bye.